Okay, so in this video we're just going to talk about the beep settings when the Panasonic GH6 is connected over HDMI, and this actually works the same for a lot of Panasonic cameras, so you might find that you're kind of in the same boat with this, but it's just sort of in response to something somebody had kind of brought up on Reddit, and it's something that I've always just kind of lived with because it worked the same on the GH5. I didn't expect any different on the GH6. So effectively, when you plug in the HDMI cable into the camera and you've got a monitor running, it shouldn't matter what monitor, it's just more the fact that it's plugged in over HDMI. You'll lose the sort of beep settings on the camera, which, if you don't know what that is, we sort of discussed that in another video, so I'll link to that above, or like the beep settings and how you can use them. But what happens is the camera effectively goes into a kind of silent mode. So if we switch the camera on, I'm just in movie mode at the moment, but it doesn't matter too much what mode you're in. So if we flick it on and then we just hit record, you can hear I've got that kind of audible beep for the recording, and also if I open the card door and then I switch off, you can hear it's got the beep to say that it's writing to the card. I'm recording to a CF Express card, so it's pretty quick. It doesn't take very long to wrap up a file, but you heard that kind of audible beep. And then when we plug into here, like I say, this should work with any monitor, but I'm just using a Fieldworld F6 Plus. And then we plug in, you can see the monitor's running. And then if we hit record, you can see that it's just not doing the noises. If we get the door open, stop recording, you can see the sort of warning pops up, but you don't get that sound anymore. So it's something to kind of bear in mind. I mean, I think what they've tried to do on the GH6 to kind of help with this is you've got additional tally lamps on there, which we sort of discussed that again in another video, so I'll link that above. But effectively the tally lamps just let you know when the camera's recording. And also, like a really nice visual indication is the red frame that you get, so you can see that when I'm doing it. So we've got no sound, but we've got the red frame around there, and we can see that the camera is actually recording. And obviously we can flip the screen out sort of any way we want on this camera, so you can always see it, or you can send out the information from the camera onto the screen. Annoyingly, you can't have it on both at the moment, which I'm hoping they'll fix in firmware, but I don't really know how that's going to go, but you can at least have the red frame either on your monitor or on the screen. So that's another really useful thing. It's not switched on by default, so again, we covered that in another video. If you don't know where to find it, I'll link up in the corner to that. So it's really just something to kind of be aware of, that is the case. I'm 100% that you can't get those modes back, because it's like I say, it almost goes into a silent mode state, but it doesn't tell you that, and silent mode's not switched on, the beep settings haven't changed, they're not disabled. It just seems to be how the camera operates. Like I say, it worked the same on the GH5, it works the same on the GH6. It's very likely it does the same thing across other cameras, like the S5. But it's essentially just a kind of to tell you that that's the way it works, because no matter what settings you seem to use, you just can't get that back. So you need to rely on other things on there, like I say, tally lamps, red frame, the red frame indicator. They're all really useful. They're a nice compromise, but it is a bit of a shame that you kind of lose that. And like I say, I think it's probably because if you're recording from the sensor over HDMI, and then you do decide to sort of start recording, you don't want that beep interfering with the other recording you're doing, and that's sort of why I've always assumed it's like that, but I may be wrong in thinking that. But yeah, hopefully you find that helpful. If you do, give the video a like. If you want to see more videos on the Panasonic GH6, then check out the playlist on this channel, and please subscribe.